The main risk factors for preventable chronic diseases are tobacco use, lack of physical activity, and excessive alcohol use. The risk factors have caused unpreventable and preventable diseases like disability and death. To reduce these risk factors, prevent diseases or injury before it ever occurs, reduce the impact of a disease or injury that has already occurred, soften the impact of an ongoing illness or injury that has lasting effects. We all need to invest our time and money in improving healthy lifestyle behaviors by increasing physical activity and improving our diet. By doing this, almost 35% of early deaths will be avoided. Our integrative nutrition health specialist, Betty Olayinka Folarian, advocates for this every Sunday on Health Corner and Nutrition segments showing on Healthy Living with Beaufort Channel every Sunday, 2 p.m. U.S. time, 7 p.m. UK and Nigerian time, 8 p.m. South African time. See you there.
There are many acute and chronic illnesses human beings must fight against in life, whether we like it or not, especially older adults. And these illnesses may limit or cause a lot of independence, which is distressing for most people. This is why most people consider old age a problem-ridden stage of life. And when I say acute and chronic illnesses, there's a big difference. And I'll tell you the difference. Of course, acute illnesses generally develop suddenly and last a short time, often a few days or weeks. While chronic conditions develop slowly and may worsen even over an extended period of time. It could be months or years or even lifetime. Now, as we age, as human beings age, there will be changes in strength and changes in coordination. There is no medication, no treatment, or other way around this stage of life. It is a must. It is a natural thing that must happen to all human beings in life. Take it or leave it. So let's talk about age-related diseases when we return from the break. I'm Dr. Betsy. Thank you all for joining us today, and you are watching Healthy Living with Beaufort Talk Show. Let's take a break. I'll be right back.
Health is wealth, vital is vital. You gotta take care of yourself.
Hello, do you want to live your best? You want to live your way into a healthy and beautiful body, free from all forms of diseases such as diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, hemorrhoid, and so on? Are you limited to particular foods intake due to your health status? Oh yeah, I bring to you good news, as you can eat what you want. Yes, you can. B&B African Healthy Food provides foods that suit all forms of health status with long life. Contact us today for any of these services: holistic nutrition consulting, catering based on individual health status such as diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, among others. We also do catering for household, offices, small and big events. Visit us in our office at 10039 Bisonet Street, Suite 228D, Houston, Texas, with zip code 77036. You can as well book an appointment with us on our website www.begandbomservices.com or call 347-61-35485, 347-61-35485. All order can be delivered to your doorstep. At B&B African Healthy Food, your health matters to us.
Health is wealth, vital is vital. You gotta take care of yourself.
Welcome back, viewers, to the Beaufort Talk Show, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm grateful for being on the show today. Our focus today is age-related health diseases. But before I get you familiar with common health conditions associated with aging, first, let me tell you the changes that occur in strength and coordination. Yes, it's better to know that before you get the list of the diseases. What and where are the changes in strength? Let's do that first. Changes in strength, stiffness, and stamina with age are all associated with decreasing muscle mass. The loss of muscle mass is related to both a reduced number of muscle fibers and a reduction in fiber size. If the fibers become too small, they die. Fast twitch muscle, Fiber shrinks and die more rapidly than others, leading to a loss of muscle speed. One cause of these changes is decline in muscle building hormones and growth factors, including testosterone, estrogen, growth hormone, insulin-like growth factor, and the hydroepiandrosterone, also known as DHEA. While changes in coordination are less related to muscles and more related to the brain and nervous system. Multiple brain centers need to be well coordinated to allow you to do everything from practicing physical activity to maintaining a balanced diet as you age. I mentioned brain problem last week. Yes, aging health conditions start from the brain. It starts affecting the brain, the memory. Unfortunately, most people in our society today, over age 60, who eat a Western diet and don't get enough exercise, have some tiny mini strokes, also known as microvascular or small vessel disease in their white matter. What is white matter? White matters are spots in the brain, the pillar tissue of the brain and spinal cord, and these consist mainly of nerve fibers. In addition, losing dopamine-producing cells is common as you get older. This means that as you age, you lose dopamine-producing cells. This is a must. This must happen in your body as you age, which can slow down your movements and reduce your coordination. That is why you see many elderly, they cannot move faster as they used to. Their movements slow down. Why? Because they are losing dopamine-producing cells. These dopamine-producing cells are the cells that make you walk faster, that make you move faster. And as you age, as human beings age, that your dopamine-producing cells declines. Yes. Honestly, these are the signs of Parkinson's disease. If you notice, people with Parkinson's disease, they can't walk faster. They have to be guided. They have to be monitored so that they don't fall. So even if you don't develop Parkinson's disease, many people develop some of the abnormality in movement seen in Parkinson's disease. So the signs of Parkinson's disease and dementia are more related. Most of these Parkinson's disease symptoms you will find in dementia symptoms. Yes. Now, there are 3 diseases I would like to stretch more on today, even though I've discussed some of these diseases in the past. These diseases include Parkinson's disease, dementia, and Alzheimer's disease. All these diseases are brain disease. The brain is affected in these type of diseases. I mentioned this when I was talking about brain diseases last Sunday. Yes, I did. And I'm mentioning these diseases today because these 3 diseases are the common age-related diseases we have right now. Yes, these are the diseases you see our elderly people fighting. Yes, age 65 and above. These are the common diseases you will find in this group of people. If you go to nursing homes today, for elderly one, these are the cases you will see. You will see Parkinson's, you will see dementia, you will see Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disease, cancer, and eye disease. These are the diseases that you will see in elderly people. But there is a type of dementia I want you to know and get familiar with today, and it's called Lewy body dementia. Of course, we know that dementia is a problem with mental abilities caused by gradual changes and damage in the brain. This is what dementia is. And it is a rare disease for people under age 65, which means percentage of people below age 65 years with this disease is low. It's very rare to see anyone whose age is below 65. Yes. Now, the condition becomes Lewy body dementia when the clumps of protein form inside brain cells. And what does it mean when the clumps of protein forms inside brain cells? It means toxic buildup of proteins are formed when the proteins misfold and form large clumps that are thought to be toxic to brain cells. Do you know why toxic buildup of protein are able to form? They are able to form because the functioning of brain cells is dependent upon the proteins which make up the brain tissue. If there is no protein in the brain, would there be any toxic buildup of protein? No. This cannot happen. And without the right amount of these essential proteins, the brain cannot work properly. Yes. So which means if you don't have protein in your brain, and including your body, human being cannot function properly. So those with any brain disease that I mentioned earlier, dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson, and other brain problems are actually suffering from lack of proteins or toxic buildup of proteins. Either they don't have enough proteins or they have enough and this has been infected. They have become toxin, and that is why you see this toxin building up. And that is why their brain is being affected and cause a lot of problems. So it now depends on which part of their brain or what happened to that brain will determine what type of disease that will cause the brain and affect the whole body. And that is why you see many people having dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson, this and that. Because life begins from the brain. I said it last week. Without your brain, you are lifeless. Human being is lifeless. Because every function in your body starts from the brain. This signal, I mentioned last week that the signal starts from the brain. Yes. Therefore, individuals who try to eat healthy and maintain a low-calorie diet may want to include protein in their diet more often. Unfortunately, how and why these misfolded clumps appear in the brain is unknown. We are yet to know why and how these misfolded clumps appear in the brain. Nobody knows. We have not been told. We research, we don't get any answers for it. And these abnormal deposits are called Lewy bodies. Yes. The toxic buildup of protein are called Lewy bodies. And that is what we call Lewy body dementia. Yes. That is just the only disease I want you to get familiar with. And I say this because I want you to make sure that your diet is balanced. Yes, every day. You must make sure that your plate contains all nutrients your body needs, including protein. Because every organ in your body needs protein to function well. And I've said it multiple times on this show, where you can get protein. And these are the easiest food out there. Almost everything you eat contains protein. If you are able to recognize, if you are able to figure out the food that can give you protein. But if you are unable to decide or to figure out or to know that this food will give me protein, that's where the problem is. I said it all the time. Whenever I'm talking about diet, I mention this. You need to recognize the food that will give you protein. Not only protein, the food that will give you all the nutrients your body needs. Don't just go to the market and buy. Go to the market and figure out. Before you even get to the market, before you leave your house, make sure you know what that food is giving to your body before you purchase it. It's very important. Otherwise, you buy junks and you eat junks. And what do you get from junks? Diseases, illnesses, bacteria, germs, and probably death in the end. Is that what you want? No. No. Now, what are the symptoms people with Lewy body dementia may have? I emphasize on this disease because people don't know what is actually going on in their bodies. They mix things up. There's a dementia, there is different type of dementias. But this Lewy body dementia is common and people don't know. Why? Because they think that when they eat, that's it. They have eaten food. They have forgotten that what you eat matters in your body. And if it's lacking one nutrient, that can affect the whole body. And that is why Lewy body dementia is very common, because we lack protein in our body. People lack protein in the body. Now, let's talk about the symptoms people with Lewy body dementia may probably, have. Number one I'm going to mention is hallucinations. Yes, hallucination. The person will begin to see, hear, and smell things that are not there. They begin to see things that other people next to them, around them, could not see. They begin to hear noises, voices. They begin to smell things. They begin to see invisible things. They begin to talk to themselves. This is what we call hallucination. That is where it starts from. I have 2 people with dementia that I'm treating right now. I have one dementia and one Alzheimer's disease. One will be talking to herself like he's talking to human being. She sees what I cannot see. She smells what I cannot smell. She hears what I cannot hear. This is hallucinations. Next is one begins to have problems with understanding, thinking, memory, and judgment. And this is similar to Alzheimer's disease anyway. Although memory may be less affected in people with dementia with Lewy bodies. Next is confusion. This can be changed over minutes or hours. Yes. The next symptoms is slow movement, stiff limbs, and tremors. Tremors is uncontrollable shaking. When your hands are shaking or your feet are shaking. And this is very common in Parkinson's disease. In fact, these are also signs for Parkinson's disease. You see their hands shaking, their legs, shaking like this. That is Parkinson's. People with Parkinson's disease have problem with movement. They can't move their body, their legs, their hands, so they have problem with stiff limbs and tremors. Next symptoms is disturbed sleep, and this is with often with violent movements and shouting out. You see them being violent, When they move, you see them shouting unnecessarily. You don't know what's wrong with them, even while they sleep. This is another sign. And the last ones are fainting spells, unsteadiness, and falls. That is why people with these three diseases are prone to falls. Sometimes they can faint. Sometimes they have balance problem. They are unsteady when they stand. They cannot stand on their own. And if somebody cannot stand on their own and is not getting help, not support, they can hold him or where he can lean on, what happens? The person will fall. And that happens very often in these three diseases. People with these three diseases, Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's disease. They fall. Yes. And these problems can make daily activities increasingly difficult. And someone with this condition may eventually be unable to look after themselves. These people with these diseases, that is why they must have 24-hour cares. They must be with them, watching them, guiding them from falls. Is very important. And they take falls seriously in this country because they believe when you fall, anything can damage in your body. Your brain can have brain injury, you can have internal injury, all these things can cause death. Yes. Once you have brain injury, Alzheimer's disease, dementia, Parkinson, cardiovascular disease, anything that affects your movement, that affects your balance, your strength, your coordination, it is impossible for you to look after yourself. You must have somebody assigned to you to take care of you. Now, what are the causes of dementia with Lewy bodies? Or you can call it Lewy body dementia. Of course, I said it earlier that this disease, Lewy body dementia, is caused by clumps of protein forming inside brain cells. And I must tell you that these deposits are also found in people with Parkinson's disease. Of course, this is a brain disease we are talking about here. And they build up in areas of the brain responsible for functions such as thinking, visual perception, and muscle movement. Other examples of aging-associated diseases are cardiovascular disease. By now, everyone should know that cardiovascular disease is heart disease, such as stroke, hypertension, heart attack, cardiac arrest, and other heart diseases. Yes, cardio is called heart. Cardio is medical term. Heart is English term. So, cardiovascular disease is heart disease. Cancer is also age-related disease. Arthritis is there. Yes. Arthritis, you all know arthritis, the swelling and tenderness of one or more joints. That is arthritis. Cataracts, that is eye disease. Osteoporosis, when your bone becomes weak and brittle. And diabetes, of course, the high sugar, your glucose is high. Yes, these diseases are much more common in older adults. Yes, you see all these diseases, you go to nursing home, go to hospital, or you see elderly one that prefer to stay home and take care of themselves with their family. These are the diseases you see them fighting against. The truth about this disease is how you treat your body and what you feed your body with. Now, this will determine how you will look in the future and when you when you get older. If you feed your body, what you feed your body now, and what you do with your body will determine whether you have this disease or not. And I must remind you again that human beings were born with one cell that causes disease, and that is cancer cell. What you feed your body determines how this cell grows to hurt your body. If you eat good, you eat all the foods that can fight these bacteria, these bad cells in your body, then you will not have cancer. That means your food must be rich in antioxidants. Yes, nutrients that fight radicals. It's antioxidants. You can find them in the fruits. You can find them in other food, apart from fruits. But you have them more in fruits than other food. Yes. So we must take preventive measure to prevent all these diseases. Not only when we get old. Right now, we are getting older. Now that we are growing in age, everything is changing. Our dopamine cells are reducing every day. These dopamine cells are the cells that reduce our movement. And we must make sure that we are strengthening these cells. If you want to be active while you age, you want to make sure you feed your body. You fill these cells with food that will make you healthier than before, even when you age. Next week, I'll teach you how to stay strong and coordinated as you age, as well as the best food you can fuel your body with for healthy aging. Stay well. I'm Dr. Betty, health and nutrition expert. See you next week. Good night.
Thank you.